Imagine spending weeks preparing an art exhibition. You choose the paintings. You frame everything. You arrange the walls. You prepare the labels. You print invitations. The gallery looks beautiful. Then opening night arrives, and something feels wrong. There are people there, but not necessarily the people who can help your exhibition succeed. Your friends are there. Your family is there. Other artists are there. People you already know are there. And that is wonderful. But if your goal is to sell artwork, build your reputation, find collectors, or create future opportunities, you need to think beyond your immediate circle. You need to invite the right people. This doesn't mean inviting only wealthy people. It means inviting people who have a reason to care about art. That distinction is extremely important. An exhibition is not simply a party. It could be a networking opportunity. It could be a sales opportunity. It could be a community event. It could be a chance to meet people who may open doors for you months or even years later. So who should you invite? Let's start with collectors. Collectors are obvious potential buyers. But don't make the mistake of thinking that every collector is interested in every kind of art. A person who collects contemporary abstract painting may not be interested in traditional landscapes. Someone who collects photography may be fascinated by your photographic work, but not interested in sculpture. So instead of inviting hundreds of random people, think about who is actually likely to appreciate your work. Quality of audience can be more important than quantity. Next, think about interior designers. This is one of the most overlooked audiences for artists. Interior designers regularly look for artwork for homes, offices, hotels, restaurants, and other spaces. One designer can potentially introduce your work to many clients. You don't have to convince the designer to buy a painting for themselves. You want them to remember your work when one of their clients needs art. That can become a long-term relationship. Then there are architects and people working in design. Architectural firms, hospitality designers, developers, and staging professionals may all have reasons to use original artwork. Your exhibition gives them a chance to see the work in person. This is much more powerful than simply sending them a photograph. Next, consider businesses. Hotels, restaurants, corporate offices, law firms, medical offices, technology companies, boutique businesses. These organizations sometimes need artwork to make their spaces more welcoming and distinctive. A successful exhibition can introduce your work to people who may never walk into a traditional gallery. And don't forget art organizations, museums, nonprofit arts organizations, art centers, cultural organizations, university art departments, community arts programs. These people may not be immediate buyers, but they may know about future exhibitions, grants, lectures, residencies, workshops, and collaborations. One invitation can lead to another opportunity. Now let's talk about the media. Local newspapers, arts publications, radio programs, podcasts, YouTube channels, art bloggers, cultural journalists, community newsletters. They can help your exhibition reach people beyond the gallery. But don't simply send them an invitation. Give them a reason to care. Tell them what is interesting about the exhibition. Maybe it brings together 10 local artists. Maybe it explores a meaningful subject. Maybe it introduces emerging artists. Maybe it combines visual art with live music. Maybe it supports a community organization. The story is what makes people pay attention. And then there are social media creators. Not every influencer is useful. You don't need someone with millions of followers. A local person with a smaller but highly relevant audience may be much more valuable. For example, someone who talks about local culture, art, design, architecture, or community events may bring exactly the people you want. Now let's come back to the idea of a group exhibition. This can be extremely powerful. Suppose you have 10 artists. If each artist brings their own audience, you may have 10 separate networks coming together. Artist number 1 invites 20 people. Artist number 2 invites 30. Artist number 3 invites 15, and so on. Suddenly, the exhibition has a much larger potential audience. But there is an important condition. The artists need to participate in promoting the exhibition. Don't assume that simply putting someone's name on the invitation will bring their audience. Make promotion part of the agreement. Give every artist digital invitation materials. Give them the exhibition description. Give them social media graphics. Give them the date, location, parking information, and opening hours. Make it easy for them to invite people. You can even create a simple message they can send to their contacts. The easier you make promotion, the more likely artists are to participate. And this leads to another powerful idea. Don't make the opening just an opening. Make an event. Perhaps there is live music. Perhaps there is a short artist conversation. Perhaps there is a demonstration. Perhaps there is poetry. Perhaps several artists speak about their work. Now, people have another reason to attend. But be careful. The event should support the art. It should not overwhelm it. If the music is so loud that nobody can talk about the paintings, the event has become a concert. If the food takes over the room, the exhibition becomes a party. The art should remain at the center. Now think about organizations you can invite. Local cultural groups, community organizations, business associations, design organizations, photography clubs, art societies, universities, libraries, museums, schools, nonprofits, chambers of commerce. These organizations already have communities. You don't need to build every audience from zero. You can connect with existing communities that have an interest in what you're presenting. And here's something many artists overlook. Invite people before you need them. Don't wait until you desperately need a buyer. Build relationships early. Someone may attend your exhibition this year and not buy anything. That's okay. They may remember you. They may come to your next exhibition. They may introduce you to an interior designer. They may recommend you to a collector. They may invite you to participate in another show. Our careers are often built through relationships over time, not one transaction. So after the exhibition, follow up. Thank people for coming. Thank the organizations that supported the event. Thank the artists who participated. Thank the people who helped promote it. And if someone showed particular interest in your work, stay connected. Don't immediately pressure them to buy. Build the relationship. Let them remember the experience. Let them become familiar with your work. The goal is not to pressure people. The goal is to create opportunities for people to discover your art. And finally, remember this. A successful exhibition isn't measured only by how many people walk through the door. One person may come to your exhibition and change your career. One collector, one curator, one designer, one journalist, one organization, one person who introduces you to someone else. That person may be more valuable than a room full of people who simply came for the food and left. So when you prepare your next exhibition, don't ask only, how many people can I get to come? Ask, who do I want to meet? Who could become part of my artistic future? Who could introduce my work to a new audience? And most importantly, who genuinely needs to see what I am creating? Because an exhibition isn't just a place where you display paintings. It is a place where relationships begin. And sometimes the most important person who walks through the gallery door isn't the person who buys a painting that night. It is the person who opens the next door for you. This is the gallery experience.